judges and the officials have decided, to give a diver a second chance if he claims that he's been significantly put off. Right, let's go with the women's platform final. Just 4 rounds of diving. Ellen Sirka of Finland will get us underway.
That's a positive start by Sirka. She's down in 11th after the 4 dives carried forwards from earlier in the competition. Very tight position in that pike. Her head as close to her knees as she could. Being rewarded with 7s by the judges. Times by difficulty gives her 48.3.
Olga Bikovskaya, representing Azerbaijan, the host nation. Well, she's made her way into this final. Any improvement on 12th would be a big bonus. 18 years of age.
Crowd erupting there. We've had a finalist in the men's springboard for Azerbaijan as well, so it's great that they have managed to get 2 athletes into the finals this evening. Thoroughly behind their athletes.
50.70, 2.6 the tariff there. You'll notice that we go down towards the medal contenders. The degrees of difficulty do rise.
Next up, Anna Tuxen of Norway. Carrying into 8th position from her earlier 4 dives.
Forward 3.5 somersault, carries a 2.7 degree of difficulty. Flung herself into that dive.
She played it safe up on takeoff, only just reaching her towel, so really had to then push herself forwards in order to clear that platform.
Maybe that just contributed to the excessive rotation there, which holds back her marks to 40-50. It's a bit too much momentum. For Ukraine now, Vlada Tatsenko. A low ranking from her opening dives, but her chosen program was strong.
Inward 2.5 somersault. Tatsenko is chosen as her starting dive in the final.
Kicked off with a 138.10 carried forward. Compare that with Tulsa, for example, the 180. It's like being battered in the first leg and having to come back and do it in the second leg.
She obviously has a strong comeback, otherwise she wouldn't be in this final. So we look forward to seeing that later on as we go through these 4 rounds.
Saija Pavola of Finland. Inward 2.5 somersault, 2.7. 2 flying Finns in this final.
Oh, she really did start to over-rotate. Couldn't come out of that tuck position in time to get the elusive vertical entry.
In other words, she gave the water a fair old whack when she got there. 36.45, 3 4.5s there. A bit discouraging. Two German girls. Valenza Jahn is the first to dive, 17 years of age, from Leipzig. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist, 3.2.
That concentration. She put full mental effort into that.
Only the two Russian girls attempting 3.3 DD dives. Just to give you a perspective on the tariffs here.
Representing Sweden,
Ellen Ek from Sweden. Marks carried forward, ranked her 7th. Back 2.5 somersault, 2.9 the degree here.
She's an athlete that we saw excel in the more taxing dives, so we'll expect her to move up from 7th during these next 4 performances.
She's diving across the full range in the 1 metre, the 3 metre springboard and the platform, but platform is definitely her favourite. 55.10 is her score.
I think we can hear who's coming up next. It is Shanice Lobb of Great Britain, and if you get points for your support team, she'd be even higher than 3rd.
Great Britain with 1 bronze medal to show for the opening day. Forward 3.5 somersault, 3.0.
You really can feel and hear the effort goes into that dive, needing the momentum to complete 3.5 somersaults.
She gives it plenty of welly. She's got a fair program at 3.0, 3 3.2s, so she likes to attack. Got to commit all the way. 63 points. It's good work.
Elena Vasson of Germany just getting into position, and you can see from her ranking she really excelled in those 4 compulsory dives that they had to start off the qualifiers. And will that be enough to keep her in that silver medal position?
6.5, 5.5, 6, 6, 6,
2.9 level of difficulty.
52.20.
Representing Russian Federation, Anna Tunisia.
Anna Chiunyashina, first of the 2 Russians to go. 3.0 forward, 3.5 somersault.
Janishina showing her class, and the crowd appreciating it as well. Wonderful extension through her knees, head tucked right in.
We're fairly hammering through this program here, just 4 rounds, remember. Now, this is interesting because Lois Toulson brings an absolute shed full of points carried over from the qualifying competition that ranks her first. She's a good 12 points clear of Tymoshenina, who leads us overall from the preliminary, so she's got a real advantage if she can cash in. Lovely sound. It's a 2.8 tariff inward 2.5 somersault, but that sounded really clean. Didn't look too bad either.
And when we talk about sound, it really does refer to that entry, and the smoother the entry, it is that lasting impression on the judges' minds. They don't get this replay that we have, and they have to make that decision, and that the entry plays a big part.
Look at that trail, you can see she's absolutely clean through the water. That's a cracking score. 3 8.5s, 71.40. There was a 9. We've not seen too many of those to the pound or the kilo.
So our final diver in round 1, Yulia Tymoshenina, entered this competition most probably as favourite. Oh, and she's not going to be favourite after that dive.
She brings all the experience of World Series. She's got a European Championship full title with Ekaterina Petulchova from the synchronized platform event. But that was a complete disaster. Well,
she was ranked 4th before that, but actually performed this dive earlier to something 3 times better at least than that, and I think she's probably just seen her chances go out of the window.
well, that has thrown a proverbial cat among the pigeons.
So we head back up to the top of the start list. Helen Sirka moved up to 8th after her first dive.
Just to quickly let you know, it's Great Britain 1 and 2, Russia 3, Germany 4 and 5.
Inward 2.5 somersault coming up.
Seemed a bit tight going in there, so she was just like rigid and holding herself back, not really relaxing into it.
You talk about the sound, that was quite different to Tolson's dive earlier.
Total score for this dive, 39.15.
Reflected in the score, just 39.15 for the Finn.
Cue the cheers for the girl representing Azerbaijan. Back 2.5 somersault for Bikovskaya. Was a bit heavy as well. She's got the 2 springboard events to look forward to as well, just to keep the home fans well and truly interested.
And that finish was not good enough. She continued the rotation, went past vertical, and that's what caused that noise and that huge splash. She's going to be rewarded with a poor score as a result.
33.35, it's well below par. Norway next, Anna Tuxen with a 2.9 difficulty, back 2.5.
It was a good effort by the Norwegian. She'll be looking for something higher than 5s that she had on her opening dive.
She's been a top 6 diver at European Junior Championship level, so she's also been to the World Junior Championships.
And that's a much better score than her opener, 66.7.
Ukraine's Vlada Tatsenko. Reverse 2.5 somersault for her. 2.8. She hasn't got a dive in her programme above 2.9.
Taking her time. She's got a lot of work to do. She did have very weak starting dives that got carried into this final, so she's playing a bit of catch up now.
6.5, 6.5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 5.5, 6. Total score for this dive, 51.80.
So with these dives that aren't the most difficult, you really need high scores from the judges, and not getting it outside of the sixes, so that equals a 51.8.
Next at 10 metres, Saya Pavola. Back 2.5 somersault with half a twist. She's 12th of 12 at present. From Helsinki, just 14 years of age.
I think that's going to be an improvement. She didn't open well. Hopefully she's managed to erase that from her memory. And that is the thing with performing at this level. You can't dwell on what has just happened.
Working hard to get that pike position nice and tight. (50-70).
Representing Germany, Franze Jan.
Franze Jan of Germany next to dive.
Franze Jan in 5th place. Not... I've got a fairly varied programme. This is 2.9. She's got a 3.2 up her sleeve, but finishes with a 2.8.
She's raising her game for this final. And as we saw, anything can happen. She is working her way up through the field.
Bronze medalist at the 14 to 15-year-old category at the European Junior Championships in 2013. 17 now, so in among the more senior competitors, 60-90 is more than respectable.
We're halfway through the second round. It is Elenek of Sweden next to dive. Now it looked like it was going to be a slightly scruffy start. She was a fair way off the end of the board. We'll see now on the replay. But it didn't affect her entry.
Waiting to get into those twisting movements as well. 56.55 is her reward. Now diving further down the order at the moment.
Chinese lob of Great Britain next to go. And getting into position for an arm stand, back double somersault, 1.5 twists. And yes, it sounds a mouthful. It is a difficulty of 3.2.
3.2s left. Lots of points up for grabs. There's a bit of over rotation there, but still it felt good and sounded good.
Well, she didn't quite get the push off the platform she might have hoped for. It didn't put her off the routine she will have done thousands of times before.
Good divers, even if something might go wrong somewhere, still hold it together to make sure they get some points out of it. She's got 64 there, which puts her on top of the pile at the moment.
Elena Vassen of Germany dropped from 2nd to 4th after that opening dive. She'll be hoping to improve on that.
2.8, reverse 2.5 somersault.
And that could be an improvement. She scored 6s from the judges with the last one. This is only a 2.8, so she needs some high scores.
She's got a 3.2 dive to finish with, so if she can get herself right up there and challenging, this dive will have done her cause a bit of good. Then you never know. 64.40, an 8 there as well.
Representing the Russian Federation, Anna Tunisia.
And Tunisiana in the bronze medal position so far. This is her second dive. Inward 3.5 somersault, 3.2, right perched on the edge of that platform.
What a tight, tucked position that was as she span all the way down those 10 metres.
Really quick, giving herself plenty of time to unwind, to get into a good entry position.
7, 7, 7, 6, 6.5. Total score for this dive, 64.
See what the judges thought. Not over generous.
Representing Great Britain.
Next up, Lois Toulson of Great Britain. She has that position that all the rest of these divers want. She is currently leading the field. 3 dives left for this athlete.
On top of the platform and on top of the pile at the moment, Lois Toulson. 2.8, reverse 2.5 somersault. She's got a healthy lead.
And that reaction says it all. She's doing her very best to hang on to that lead. Great support there.
Not flawless for the 15-year-old. It's a good lead for a little girl off that platform.
Not quite the score that maybe she would have got on that first. No, 60.20. So they cancel out the 8.5, but quite a variation. 6.5 to 8.5. Judges disagreeing. Next up, it is Yulia Tymoshenina. Can she rescue that disaster dive she had last?
Well, she knows it cannot get any worse. Arm stand forward, double somersault, 1 twist, 3.1. This is where the tough get going. Her form seems to be deserting her just when it matters most. A demanding day with that long preliminary competition. She can do better than this.
She let herself leave the board in without any upward motion that you need to get as much lift, give yourself as much space as possible. 6.5s across the board.
We're very quickly at the halfway stage in this women's platform final. Great Britain 1 and 2, and that is a strong 15-point lead from Lois Toulson. And this is really proving another unpredictable competition with Tymoshenina losing her form.
So here we go, halfway through, about to start round 3 is Ellen Sirka of Finland with an arm stand forward double somersault.
Good hold there. .4 the tariff. Sometimes feel the gymnastic movement at the front deserves a little bit bigger acknowledgement. It's the way the sport is.
Total score for this dive, 43.20.
43.2.
And she is bringing up the lower end of the field, but still the support is there for Bikovskaya of Azerbaijan.
Reverse 2.5 somersault, 2.8. Big splash.
I think she is here now to enjoy this experience. For her, it really must have been an achievement to make the final, to get to compete in front of this crowd here tonight.
She does compete still in the springboard event, so she wants to draw from this experience still, make sure she gets in that habit of delivering decent points from her dive, not letting it fall apart for her.
Anna Tuxen of Norway next to dive.
Reverse 2.5 somersault, 2.8. Oh dear, just fell apart down the latter stages. All that binding coming off her wrists, you can see there.
Watch closely, the wrists do take a lot of impact as the divers hit the water. There was a good angle for that. Only 33.6 though falls across the board for the Ukrainian.
Vlada Tatsenko, 9th at the moment. .9, back 2.5 somersault, a long wait. Takes nerve to decide you're not quite ready. Don't want to rush it. No point in doing that.
6, 6.5, 6.5, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 6.5. Total score for this dive, 53.65.
53.65 for the Ukrainian girl.
Next up, Saya Pavola of Finland. Down in 10th, but she has still got 2 dives to improve on that.
She is the youngest girl in the competition. She was only 14 in April. Stand forward double somersault, worth 2.4.
And you could see that takeoff better than some we've seen so far today. She got the right moment to push away from the platform. There it is. Time to get into that tucked pike position.
6.5, 7, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5. Total score for this dive, 46.80.
46.80 down in the 6.5s for Pavola.
Representing Germany, Franza Jan.
That's Jan of Germany, ranked 5th.
Well, she has seen her rivals collapse in their dives, so when you're in 5th position, got to keep it going, though she has some ground to make up. Ooh, she never got that under control. She's got a worrying technique of getting up there. Not comfortable to watch, really, and she never got it under control. And then she felt she had to go, and that was the end of that. Supposed to be a back double somersault with 1.5 twists.
It is easy for us to get complacent from the commentary booth. We mustn't forget these athletes are standing upside down on the 10-metre platform. It really is quite a skill.
Don't worry, I have nothing but admiration for them. Stand up there and look down. That's credit enough. Ellen Eck, 6th.
Taking the time to really focus.
5'3", but quite a powerful, compact figure. 17 years of age.
Judges score 5.5.
Started diving when she was 8.
5.5. Total scores for this dive 43.
Many of these divers will have started at such a young age. It really does seem to be getting younger and younger, this sport, in order to try and keep up with the Chinese, who obviously aren't competing today, but are still the dominant nation in diving.
In the silver medal position, Shanice Lobb of Great Britain. 3.2 here, inward 3.5 somersault tucked. Big points for a big dive if she can produce it. No, all went a bit wrong down the bottom end in particular. That has definitely undermined her chances. That does not look any better at the second time of asking.
She was so controlled at the beginning of her dive. Just lacked that entry. She is looking understandably frustrated.
Well, over till it's over, but that was a massive setback for the girl from Plymouth.
Lena Vassen of Germany, going to see if she can take advantage of that.
2.8 for this inward 2.5 somersault.
She might just have done. She most probably will have noticed the tension and the fact that these divers are really pushing themselves, but the positions are still so open.
6.5. Total score for this dive.
Powerful figure. 5'8", tall girl for one of the younger divers. Gets 2 sevens, 57.40.
So the Russian hopes are now lying with Anna Tunashina.
.3 this one. It's one of the 2 big dives in the competition. The back 3.5 somersault tucked. She needs to go for it here.
I think that was the Russian coaching staff and Russian supporters. They liked it. To the judges.
14 years of age.
6.5, 7.5, 7,
15 in December.
6, 8. Total score for this dive 69.30.
Really is coming to the boil, this competition. 69.30. Top of the pile at the moment, above Vassen and Lobb, who's dropped back Lois Toulson now in the gold medal position. Has seen others fail. She cannot afford a big mistake here if she's going to grab what would be a magnificent gold for her. Her third dive, forward 3.5 somersault, 3.0 in the gold medal position, third dive.
And I think that cheer gives us a good inclination.
In the European Junior Championships back in 2013, she's not really reached that level of performance today, ending with a 27.60.
Frustrating way to finish the competition in this women's platform. But again, great cheers as Olka Bykovskaya is introduced to the crowd for the final time in this final. She will be back later in the week, but that is her concluding dive on the individual platform event.
Total score for this dive, 41.85. Ladies and gentlemen, Olka Bykovskaya.
And 41.85. She brings it back slightly after her 2 weak middle dives.
We'll see you later. She'll be performing again. Anna Tuxen, the 2.8, back 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twist to complete her schedule from Stavanger in Norway. She's got a younger sister who's a diver, so I hope she's been encouraged by Big Sis in this European Games. Not a barnstorming finish to her day.
Collecting her chamois cloth. And next to dive, Vlada Tatsenko of Ukraine. Down in 7th. She'll be looking for a strong finish.
15 years of age.
That was a forward 2.5 somersault, 1 twist. 2.9, the highest difficulty that she has opted to go for.
Total score for this dive, 46.40. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Vlada Tatsenko.
Her final mark then is 46.40.
Representing Finland.
And the second athlete to represent Finland in this final, it is Saija Pavola with her last performance we're going to see today.
A 14-year-old from Helsinki. Not a bad finish. It's a 2.7 tariff. Forward 3.5 somersault.
5.5, 6, 5, 5.5, 4.5, 4.5, 5.5. Total score for this
And
dive,
she finishes
43.20.
with an average performance. She should be satisfied with that. 43.2, the total score.
The tension building around this aquatic centre as we head closer and closer to the decisive dives. Franza Jan in 5th place, must dive and think, well, who knows what's going to happen. We have seen some big disasters.
She's getting full composure, going in her own time.
Just couldn't quite get the legs as vertical as the coach probably would have liked. Better start than finish in this final.
Total score for this dive, 43.40. Ladies and gentlemen,
43.40 to conclude.
She will take from that experience, no doubt. Next, Ellen Ek from Sweden. She's maintained position in the middle of the table. Can she move into the top half? And I don't think she's going to be moving anywhere in the right direction with a dive like that.
That was her only tariff at 3.0, all the others just below. And disappointing end for her. 25.50. Forget it. Put it behind you.
Well,
it happens.
now it's someone who is looking forwards and concentrating purely on what she has to do right now. Shanice Lobb, Great Britain, grabbing at the coattails of that bronze medal.
Can she get it back on track? Dropped out after a disaster. Last chance saloon. Good response, gutsy.
She didn't let that last dive affect her. She moved on from it. That really is a sign of a mature athlete. You can shut out any mistakes and focus on the next dive, because you just do not know what your competitors are going to do.
Well, she will be frustrated big time, because she will think, whatever the outcome, what might have been apart from that third dive disaster. 3.767.20 to finish. Now she just has to wait.
Well, that has put the pressure on Elena Vassen of Germany next to dive. She was in third, but she will need a very good performance if she's going to hang on to that medal.
Diving for bronze, Elena Vassen of Germany. Well, over to you, judges. This is going to be tight. 3.2 is the saving grace for the German, but it's quite a hefty tariff there. Now that could definitely be the difference. She needs to be getting above Lobb, who is leading at the moment. Has she done enough? She should have done 62.40. The 6.5s put her ahead of Lobb, and comfortably so as well.
Well, there's still two divers who could affect the German or British, and one of them is Anna Chernishina of Russia. Can she keep her cool?
Diving for silver here, the Russian. 3.2, the degree of difficulty. No mistakes, and she's on the podium. No mistakes, she's on the podium.
So it's going to come down to Lois Tolson to see if she can keep her cool. But at the moment, Chernishina has done everything she can to put herself in the best possible contention. It's now out of her hands. And let's just see the confirmation of that score. The judges They gave it 6.5 sevens, but it was a difficult dive, so she does get a total of 65.6.
Now we come to it.
This is Lois Tolson of Great Britain diving for the title of European Games Women's Platform Champion.
The biggest dive of her young life, going for the gold medal here. Lois Tolson, 3.2 the tariff. Here she goes. It's a beautiful dive. That has got to be enough. That is cool. That is a big shout from the Brits, and that looks like a gold medal performance, surely.
Well, I think she's just pulled it out of the bag when she had to. She performed under that immense pressure. The crowd are going wild. The Brits are going to be absolutely ecstatic with that. Judges liked it. Look, 2 9.0s and an 8.5. 84.8. She has smashed it.
That is the dive of the day, without a doubt.
But now we just have to wait for the final dive to be completed. Yulia Tymoshenina, all she can do now is try and save a bit of face and see if she can get some confidence back, complete a strong, solid final dive. Still not of the form that she would expect to produce at this level. Just hasn't been the right day for the Russian. She came in ranked highest, hence why she's the last to dive. But when it mattered, she hasn't done it.
Disappointment for the pre-race favourite, 67.20, but absolute joy for the British girl. What a smile from the youngster, a great day's work from the 15-year-old, because it was her morning performance that added so much. Britain, Russia, Germany. Vassen gets the bronze. Here's confirmation of the final in the women's platform event. Gold for Tolson. It's a silver for Tymoshenina, and it's a bronze for Vassen. Lob edged out of it. A terrific competition here in the platform event.
Well, we have seen Russia and Great Britain excel in the two finals this evening. 3 medals going to Russia, 2 to Great Britain, and Germany just getting in the mix as well.
Well, there is something deeply satisfying when a diver is on that 10-metre platform. She has to perform, and she produces the dive of the day, the dive of her life.
Well, she's just come off the back of competing at the Senior Europeans and didn't have a great performance there. So what a mature athlete Lois Tolson is proving to be, to come off the back of that. Flew in here a few days after the rest of the team and then managed to perform that gold